How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new here, my name is Ethan Bridge. I'm host of the Social Media Marketing School podcast and the guy behind the Instagram page at The Marketing Ethan. Now today, I want to talk a little bit about building a sales funnel on Instagram, because when it comes to selling on Instagram, many people seem to overcomplicate the process, and it doesn't have to be complicated at all. What you have to do is actually very simple when you break it down into each individual step along the process. And it's those steps that I want to walk you through today so that you can begin to understand how you can take a brand new follower into a brand new customer. Because that's what we want at the end of the day. Imagine if we could all make a living from social media. We'd all be pretty happy. Now, let's start at the very beginning. A new follower comes to your page. What do they want? Why do they follow you in the first place? They could follow you for a plethora of different reasons. They may want to be entertained. They may want to be educated. They may want to be motivated. Anything along those lines. Your content has to have a purpose. Now, for the purpose of this episode, I want to actually go through an education process, specifically how I would do it in my case. I am in the social media marketing space. So I teach people how to make money from their Instagram accounts. So my content needs to solve that problem. My ideal follower is someone that wants to begin monetizing their Instagram page. So they will follow me because I make content on how to do just that. So I am catering to their pain point of that they currently don't understand how to monetize their Instagram page or their social media following, or even grow their social media following so that they could eventually monetize it. So number one, you have to understand what the pain points of your followers are, because that then drives the type of content you create, which is part of the next step. But how do you find out these pain points? It's as simple as just asking them. Put up a poll in your stories every now and again, a question and answer sticker. What content do you want to see from me? What do you currently struggle with? It's really just as simple as asking the question. Another place you can find these sort of content ideas, Quora. It's a questions and answer forum. If a lot of people are asking similar questions on Quora, it's clearly something that a lot of people want to find out about. Now, you can take those questions and turn them into a piece of content because you know you are solving a pain point of your audience. That is what you want to be doing with your content. That is going to attract the ideal customer to your page. So moving on to the second step in this stage, you want to be able to create this practical, focused content for that audience. This is getting them hooked. This is building that trust. This is showing them that you have the expertise to take them from where they are now to where they want to be. That is the goal of your content. But ultimately, this free value that you're providing through your content, they don't have to pay for this yet. This is just something that comes up on their Instagram feed and they consume for free. This is showing that you know what you're talking about. And when they consistently receive free value from you, eventually they're going to feel as if they owe you something in return, especially if you've helped them achieve something, whether that be a monetary goal through the fact that you have taught them how to monetize their Instagram. If they make a little bit of money, they could then possibly make that investment in themselves by hiring you as their coach to help them monetize even further or scale upwards. You name it, things along those lines. But now that you know their pain points, you have to create that practical, focused content to those pain points so that you are solving the problems of your audience. That is the goal of your content. You want to try and help achieve that purpose that you have set out to do with your page. If you're trying to entertain, your content better be entertaining. If you want to motivate, your content better be motivating. Because if you aren't giving people the solution to the reason they have followed you, that's never going to build trust, and consequently, it's never going to help you monetize. So create that practical, focused content based on the pain points you have found out in the first step. So now we're actually beginning to create our content. But within our content, so moving on to step number 3, every piece of content we have needs to have a call to action. At the end of the day, content creation is a marketing technique. What is the goal of marketing? To increase revenue. But if you aren't telling people what to do after they have consumed your piece of content, they aren't going to do anything. So a call to action, a CTA, can help do just that. That might be redirecting them to your website, asking them a question about the piece of content you have just produced so that they comment below. You can then engage with them in the comments and begin that conversation, start building that relationship with them, which helps build that trust. But having a call to action can redirect them further down the funnel. You don't want them to consume your piece of content and then just scroll on to the next. You've got their attention. They have consumed your post. That shows that they are currently engaged with you. And now you have got that focus, you don't want to lose it. So you want to keep pushing them further down your funnel. So every post that you create needs to have a call to action so that you can keep them moving down the funnel we are currently creating. So that's the content side of things. That's how you can create the content to get people down your sales funnel. But now we've got that call to action, and we may have got them to comment or send us a DM. If we've got a coaching program, we may say, send us a DM saying 1-to-1 if you want to continue or learn more about this. This gets people engaging with you. This is where we start building that relationship. The relationship we build with our audience is everything, because that is how we build the trust, whether that be in the comment section, whether that be interacting with stories, whether that be just engaging with our ideal customer on their pieces of content. So this is one of the best things. You don't have to have someone following you for them to become a potential customer. You can search up your ideal customer. Let's say you're in my position and you teach people how to monetize their Instagram pages. If you go on to Instagram and search the hashtag of coach, everybody who is a coach on Instagram is trying to monetize their Instagram page. Now, that doesn't mean everybody that uses the coach hashtag or Instagram coach or growth coach or sales coach, it doesn't mean they're making any money yet from Instagram. They may currently be trying to bridge that monetization gap, but need a little help. But because you do that and you create content on that, when you reach out to this person and begin engaging with their content, they're going to visit your page and they're going to see that you are solving that problem they are currently trying to solve. So they're going to follow you. Then you begin building that trust because they see your content. Then you get them engaging with your content. So you want to be engaging with your ideal customer, whether that be on your content, be on their content, responding to stories, reaching out to them in DMs, you name it. But the next step is the key to where it all begins. It's getting people to your direct messages. It's a common misconception that you need 10,000 followers to start monetizing your Instagram page. Wrong. You can do everything within the DMs from as little as 100 followers, you name it. You don't even need to have any followers to monetize. You just need to have that one person that you have built that relationship and that trust with to then go and buy your product or service. And you can do that through the DMs. You don't need the swipe up feature. None of that can all be done in the DMs. But the DM is where you begin talking to that individual. You build that trust and you get them down that sales funnel to that purchase point. Now, you've pretty much done the hard work now. You've created the piece of content that caters to their pain points. They've consumed that free value, so you've built that trust and they know you're an expert at it, because your content proves just that. So you've got that trust, you've built that relationship, and now they're thinking, okay, this person clearly knows what they're talking about. I want them to help me. You've done the hard work. It's the DMs that finally closes the deal. You don't want to just go into the DMs and go straight in with the hard sell. That's a huge red flag. Begin asking them questions. Get to know them on a little bit more of a personal level. Show that you're actually interested in them opposed to just interested in the money. Because when you actually show that genuine interest, that further builds that trust. And the individual on the other end begins to think, okay, they're actually fully invested in me. I like this because I want to pay them to help me. So the more you can understand about your customers, that's only more helpful when you go further down the process and you're actually trying to help them, because you can cater your services to their wants and needs depending on what they want to achieve. So building that relationship and finding out a little bit more about them and their business in the DMs is essential. But the DMs is where you can then suggest a discovery call, the next step of the process. You don't want to keep it all in text on the DMs. You want to get them to a point where you can go, look, I can clearly see you've got this problem. You clearly want to solve it. I am a coach in XYZ. I have an ebook. I have a course. You name it. Let's jump on a 15-minute discovery call over Zoom, and I can tell you all about it. I can learn a little bit more about you and your business on the call. I can tailor this product or service to your wants and needs, and then you can decide there whether you want to purchase. But this 15-minute discovery call is free. There's no obligations. They're not being charged to do it. You are giving them 15 minutes of your time to find more out about them, and then they can consequently make the decision as to whether they want to buy your product or service. Because when you actually get in front of them face to face, this is your time to shine. This is where you can really, really show your expertise and begin to talk to them about what you do. You can tailor the product or service to their wants and needs. The way they talk to you, you can react accordingly. But that 15-minute discovery call is now where you close the deal to get the client. The discovery call, you've done all the hard work up to that point. The discovery call at that point should be an absolute breeze. If someone's willing to jump on a 15-minute discovery call with you, they're interested in buying your product or service. So don't mess it up at that point. Don't get nervous and think you're not worthy of selling them this product or service, because you've shown them up to that point that you are an expert at what you do. So get them to that 15-minute discovery call and seal the deal. Turn that prospect into a client, and now you've taken a follower to a buyer. That's an Instagram sales funnel. It really isn't that difficult when you break it down. Let's quickly run through the steps again. Number 1, you need to just understand the pain points of your customer, so that number 2, you can begin creating targeted, focused content to solve those problems. So then for point number 3, in each of those posts you create, it needs to have a call to action. You've grabbed the attention of your audience member with that piece of content. You don't want to lose that attention. You want to send them further down the funnel using that call to action. Number 4, you want to engage with your ideal customer, whether that be responding to their comments that you've prompted them to leave with your call to action, or within the DMs, or outreach on certain targeted hashtags, you name it. You want to be now engaging with that ideal customer so that then you can further build that trust. Because once you've engaged with them, that is when you want to get them in the DMs. Send them some helpful advice. If they've commented something on your post where they're saying, I'd love to know a little bit more detail on this, don't reply in the comments. This is your chance to go to them in the DMs and say, look, I saw that you commented this. Let me help you out. Here's some advice. You now have that personal relationship with them because you're building that trust and the relationship in the direct messages. Now that you've done that, you know what they want, you know what they need. You can suggest the 15-minute discovery call to where you can then really, really go all in with trying to sell them your product or service. You've done the hard work to that point. There's no need to start panicking when you get onto that discovery call. They want your product or service because they're willing to give up that 15 minutes of their time to finally seal the deal. So that is how you sell something on Instagram. It's not complicated, and you will find it easier and easier as you begin to make your content more focused to your target audience, as you begin to understand how you need to interact with people in the DMs. You don't just go in with the hard sell straight away. It's a slow but steady relationship building process to the point you've built that trust and that the person knows they want you as their expert to help them. But that does wrap up today's video. If you did enjoy, as you can see, I'm a very new creator here on YouTube, so I appreciate every little help when it comes to smashing that subscribe button, hitting that like button, and turning on post notifications. That way, you will never miss a video when I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I did just want to let you know that this is a part of my podcast series, Social Media Marketing School. It can be found on pretty much any podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, Google, you name it. Just give it a search and you will find it there. But the audio version of the podcast is the place to be, because I released these episodes a little bit earlier on the audio version of the podcast. Then a couple of days later, the video version is released here on YouTube. So if you want to consume the content sooner, subscribe to the audio. If you prefer the video, stick here on YouTube. But if you've got any questions with regards to anything I've mentioned in today's episode, just reach out to me on Instagram at @themarketingethan, send me a DM and I'll make sure I get back to you. But if you have made it to this point in the video, I just want to finish off by saying thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.